Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Unstoppable Mumpreneurs Telesummit series. We have another awesome Mumpreneur expert here with us tonight, and I'm honored to welcome Honorée in the lineup of awesome women we've had so far. Honorée, welcome to our program. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It's a delight to be with you.
Fantastic. This is our second time around, so we're hoping that the technology god and goddesses stay with us here in this recording.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
All right, so Honorée has a lot of awesome goodness to share with us tonight. We're doing this at night, of course, UK time, and I'll tell you a bit more about her. We'll learn a lot more as we go on through. Now, Honorée is the author of 20 books, including You Must Write a Book, Vision to Reality, Prosperity for Writers, Business Dating, the Successful Single Mom book series, which she will tell you more about a bit later on. If Divorce is a Game, These Are the Rules, and The Divorced Phoenix. She is also Hal Edwards' business partner in the Miracle Morning book series. Honorée coaches business professionals, writers, and aspiring nonfiction authors who want to publish their books to bestseller status, create a platform, and develop multiple streams of income. She also does all sorts of other magical things, and her badassery is legendary. You can find out more at honoreecorder.com. Honorée, welcome again.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Now, can you tell us a bit about yourself, about your beautiful 16-year-old daughter, and what was the catalyst for you starting a business of your own?
Well, so I've been an entrepreneur actually since before I was a mom. I am highly unemployable. so that was the catalyst.
All right.
I worked very well for companies, but what I discovered was that I would excel in what I was doing, and then my bosses would give me the responsibilities of the other people for whom we had the same job, but they weren't excelling, but they weren't giving me their paycheck.
Right.
And I thought there was some inequality there. And so I started my first business in my 20s. And then by the time I became a mom at almost 30, I had switched over to doing coaching, speaking, training, and also writing books.
Fantastic. Yeah. Right. So this is your daughter, has known you as an entrepreneur throughout from birth.
Yeah. So it's funny because she doesn't understand that some mothers could not just drop off their, if she forgets her lunch or pencil bag or whatever. She's like, oh, but you work from home. You must just be hanging out all day. She'll ask me, what are you doing today? And I will just say, I'm watching Oprah and eating bonbons and, counting my money. That's what I do all day. I don't think she has any real concept of the life that most people live.
Great. Well, we'll come on to that one a little bit later on.
Great.
Flesh that out some more. So having started as early as you did, what were some of the, teething pains that you had?
Oh. All of them. I had all of them. Well, there are the big ones that people talk generally about. So such as time management and dealing with the stress and how long does it take before I'm a millionaire, right? I mean, it's not microwave popcorn or instant coffee working for yourself. And so those are some of the challenges that I faced was, wow, I'm working awfully hard and I don't seem to be getting a return on my hard work as much as I'd like. And I listened to my advisors and my mentors when they said, you will work harder today and not get paid, and later you will work less hard and get paid more. That there's a crossover point. And I listened to them and I was very glad, because I don't think that I have been successful in anything that I've done because I was smarter or better looking or better educated, because I'm certainly none of those things. I barely have a high school education, but I refuse to give up. I'm relentless. I just keep going. I refuse to give up. And I think that that's been very helpful.
A lot of I hear that throughout. That's been very consistent in this amount of the women I've spoken with in this series. That resilience, that persistence, that never giving up attitude. And it exists to an above average level.
Right. Well, you just can't let a delay become a denial in your head. You can't take no for an answer. No has to mean oh, later. Oh, you don't want to do it now, then you're going to want to do it later. And it's interesting because the longer I've stayed in, the more people have kind of gone, okay, well, I'll give that a try, whatever that was.
Yes.
Because you're still doing it. There must be something to it. And that works in everyone's favor the longer you stick to something. Now, there's something to be said for realizing that it's never going to work. Like I'm never going to be hired as a vocalist. That's for sure. So there's something to be said for recognizing reality. But if it's a matter of if you put in enough time and effort and you stay in it, you will be successful. For most things, stay in it and keep working at it and you will be successful. It will just take longer than you want it to. It will be more effort than you want it to be, and it will cost more money than you want it to cost. And it will be worth it to stay in the game as long as you can.
Fantastic. What was it? I mean, did you have that sort of thinking very early, right from the start? Or was that something that grew and developed over time for you?
Well, I had heard that you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. Your income is that. And so I didn't know anybody. So I couldn't just go hang out with a bunch of rich, successful people. So what I did instead was my mentors became successful people. So I listened to what they said and I read their books and I listened to their audios. So Jim Rohn we're best friends, me and Jim Rohn, me and Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins. We have all hung out together a lot. They have no idea who I am.
You know who they are.
But I listened to them relentlessly. And so I figured if in actuality I didn't have that, I could create it mentally. And I believe in the power of our subconscious mind. I believe in the power of visualization and affirmations, which I heard initially about from Tony Robbins by reading Awaken the Giant Within. And then I read Think and Grow Rich. And in there he said, read Think and Grow Rich every month and write down your power statement and read that every day. And I did that. And it worked in my favor. And then eventually I was able to, and I think my cat has made an appearance.
That's
also.
okay.
A but bonus guest for the show, just so you know, there's no extra charge. There's no extra charge for the cute cat. I just surrounded myself with people that were successful, even though they didn't know who I was. I knew who they were.
You know, you said something very, very powerfully there. That, you know, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with is one of my favorites as well. And a lot of people would say, but I don't know 5 well-to-do people. I don't know personally 5 inspiring people who are already where I want to be, to go physically, you know, rub shoulders with. And neither did you. Neither did you. But what everything that they produce, their books, their audios, their videos, and that was your connection to them. So for any mompreneur listening here who is saying, well, I don't know 5, and I have said that once myself. I've said that once, I don't know, I might know 1, you know.
Yes.
Not even directly at that point in time, was through someone else.
Yep.
But yes, like you, it's the Tony Robbins, it's the Lisa Nichols, you know, it's the Oprah Winfrey, the Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's Bob Proctor is another fave of mine.
Yes, mine as well. Yep.
Absolutely. So it's consuming as much as you can of what these learned, inspiring people have taken the time to write and share.
Right. And even if you do know of somebody, they don't necessarily have the time to hang out with you, and they might not live near you.
That's right.
However, as you start to gain success, people will seek you out, especially if you radiate positive energy. That's something I've been told about myself, is that I'm very positive, and I make it a point to be, my front facing is positive, right? If I actually have my cranky pants on, which I will neither confirm nor deny, I don't talk about that. I don't go out with that. And so people will be gravitated to your new and improved self as you are new and improved.
Absolutely.
So it's working on yourself. And it's funny because I'm a writer, and writers are alone. We're introverts. And so I went to my first writers conference 2 years ago, and it was life-changing because I found my people. unfortunately, my people don't live where I live. And so we have to connect via phone, by text, by email, by Skype.
Right.
Because that's what you do when you're not near someone. The world is actually a very small place. I mean, you and I aren't close to each other, but I can see you. Yep.
Absolutely. And that speaks to the technology and the wonders of the technology.
Amen.
You know,
Yes.
I'm here in the UK, you're in Austin, Texas, and here we are
Yeah.
face to face.
Exactly. And it's almost the same. It's funny because I have a girlfriend that I eat lunch with once a month, and we do it on the
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Awesome. Lovely.
Yeah.
So we've been through, the early teething challenges, and now, several years down the road, more established in your, I'm not aging you, that's not my
all of the years down the road.
Yeah, all those years down the road. What are some of the challenges that still come up for you, and how do you manage them?
Well, it's called the mumpreneur, right? And it's being a good mom and having time for all of the things and managing when I'm on a roll, when I'm in the zone and things are flowing at 4:15, and guess what? Someone's going to walk through the door and they want to eat every day, these children. Right? So I have set up my life in such a way. And I realized when my daughter was in 7th grade that I would only have 5 more summers. 5 more summer vacations with her before she would graduate from high school, 5 more Christmas vacations, those types of things. And so I structured my life because it was totally within her skills and abilities to make her own breakfast, make her own lunch, those sorts of things. But I thought there's going to come a day when I would wish I could make her lunch or make her breakfast or spend time with her. So I get up a little bit earlier in the morning so that when she gets up and she's eating breakfast, I'm not working. I'm spending time with her. And by the time she walks in at 4:15, I'm done working. And I spend time with her. And then dad comes home and, we spend some family time together. And then she goes to her room and I spend time with my husband. So I've kind of segmented things. There's date night on Saturday night with my husband, because even if you're a mompreneur, you might have a man who wants to see you. So, and they're very high maintenance too, the husbands or boyfriends. So you have to carve out time. Ooh. Yes. And, so I put some bumpers around my life, kind of like going bowling, right? Where they put the bumpers so that you're going to roll, at least you're going to knock down a pin or two. I've put some pretty strong boundaries around my time. I don't work evenings, weekends, or holidays. I don't work before a certain hour or after a certain hour. And if someone's not okay with that, that's okay with me. I'm okay with them not being okay. And saying no, I say no a lot because it's very easy with all of the requests to say, can you do this? And will you go here and do that? And as much fun as that sounds like it might be, I won't have time to do all my work if I'm running around all the time. I won't have time to spend time with my family and my friends, right? I take time for myself and time for my friends too and other family.
Lovely. Great.
So I hope that's helpful.
Absolutely helpful. And at this juncture, I should remind our listeners again to please take notes. Grab your notepad and your pen. I have mine. I do not turn up to any of these interviews without my notepad and my pen, because we're listening to priceless suggestions, advice, encouragements that we pay thousands of pounds for in a coaching session. It's all given here free. So, thank you so much. You talked about saying no here, Honorée, and I'm so pleased that you tried that with the unapologeticness of it all, as you have, because it's a difficulty a lot of us women have. And I think it even becomes more difficult when we become moms, to say no, to set those boundaries, to have those non-negotiables. And that's what you've highlighted here, haven't you? Your non-negotiables.
Yes. Well, it's interesting because the more you charge, the more people want you. The more unavailable you are, the more people want you. And yet we're taught as women and as moms to say yes to everything. Mm-hmm. And so as I've really just drawn lines around things, I've noticed that more people are attracted to me, and more of the people I would want to be attracted to me are attracted to me. So it's very interesting. And you're right. I'm unapologetic at this point because I can't give everything to everybody. I have to fill up my own well first.
Right.
And so once I got to that point, and it wasn't magical about that I got from watching and listening to other people who said, well, this is how I got here, is I did these things. And I said, well, you know better than I do, so let's try that.
Yeah.
And so I just became less available to others and more available to myself. And wouldn't you know, my stress went down. And then my productivity and my creativity increased because I wasn't stretched thin. So my automatic answer is no. And then I might think about it, and then maybe.
Well, you know what, Honorée?
And then followed by a yes later. So I really, my initial, when someone asks me something, I'll say, no, I don't think I can do that. And then they keep asking, and I'll say, all right, let me think about it. Maybe. And then I might be persuaded for a yes. But as women, how many times have we said, someone asks us something and we're so honored that someone would think of us that we say, yes, I would love to do that. And then the minute the words are out of our mouth, like they're still in the little bubble over our head, we think, oh, why did I do that? Now, how do I get out of it? And I think it's so much easier to say no to something and then come back and say yes than it is to say yes and then say no, because then you look like you're unreliable, at least in my opinion. And we don't need any more reason to have negative self-talk or talk to ourselves, right? So when someone asks me something, I'm like, nope, I'm not available for that. And and so people now know the trick, right? They're like, okay, your first answer is no. Okay, I'm going to ask again. And here's why you should say yes. It's very funny. And if that becomes your default, then you say no to everything. Then the thing that you really want to say yes to, you have that white space on your calendar. You have the energy in your soul to show up for something. And I think that's so important. As a single mom, I was a single mom from when my daughter was 2 until she was 8.5. And all the other moms, you know, we lived in a privileged neighborhood. She went to a school, which thankfully I was successful enough to pay for her to go to. As a completely single mom, I got a little bit from her biological dad, but it was really on me, working hard and smart. But she wasn't in Brownies or Girl Scouts. There weren't a lot of dance lessons and those types of things because she wasn't really pressing me for it. And my well was empty. Right. I mean, my goal wasn't to be full. It was to be at zero. Right. And so I realized later that actually worked to my advantage, because when she came home from school and wanted to go play to the park, I wasn't like, no, it's time for French lessons. No, we have to go to karate. No, we're going to go to softball practice. I wasn't keeping her super busy. And so her anxiety level was down. And then we just went to the park every day and played at the park, mom and daughter. Yes. And I spent a lot of one-on-one quality time with her, which I think has informed and influenced the young lady that she has become today. And in essence, I did myself a favor by not having anything left in my cup. Right?
I hear you.
And her too. And now when she wants to do something, she chooses in. It's not we have to do these 87 things. It's so hard. It's hard as a mom. It's hard as a single mom. It's hard as a married mom. It's just hard. So it's setting yourself up to win with your own personal rules, and those things that make you happy and make you feel fulfilled and successful are what's most important.
What's most important? And for a lot of us women.
I lost sound.
You lost sound again?
I lost sound.
I'm not sure why we're losing. Oh, no. Oh, sorry, people. Let's see here. Okay.
It says it's fine.
Mine is fine. Mine.
Hello.
I'm here, yeah.
Okay. Hello?
Hi, can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you. I just switched my speaker.
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I just
All
switched
right.
my speaker. Does
Okay.
it sound okay on your
I
end?
can hear you fine. I can hear you absolutely fine.
All right, let's keep
Yeah.
going.
Okay, we'll keep going. All right. So, the wonderful technology we were talking about just a while ago, it does have its hitches, it does have its moments. So we'll just continue rolling. We do apologize for that for our listeners. Okay, so for all your time working, I imagine you work with both men and women. You must work a lot with women as well, mompreneurs
Yes.
included. What's the number one obstacle that you see holding most mompreneurs back from, living really full lives and earning well in their businesses?
Oh gosh, so there's a couple. One is not charging what they're worth, and that comes back to self-talk and what they believe about themselves. And so when I say raise your prices, they say, "Are you crazy? No one's going to pay that."
Yeah.
And then I say, "Do it anyway." But underlying any of that, not going after the clients that you really want, or not being clear about your message, or instead of saying, "This is who I work the best with, and this is how much I'm going to charge so that I'm comfortable and prosperous and all of those things." Just saying I'll take whatever I can get is an underlying belief system. So where I work with women most is believing that they deserve everything that they really want, and naming it and claiming it for themselves, and then going out and saying, you know what, I'm going to work with and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but it's like a better quality clientele, someone who respects your time and respects your knowledge and experience and your product, whatever your product is, whether it's you and your services, or you're selling an actual good, right? Something that they get when you're on fire for what it is that you do and what you're selling, then other people come, they want to come and watch you burn. They're like, okay, I want to go to that show. So that's a lot of the work that I do with women, is just, what are they saying when they talk to themselves?
Yes.
And is it kind? And would they say that to their kids? No.
Absolutely.
Would they say that to a girlfriend? No. Or
Absolutely.
But they somehow are saying it to themselves, and I have them just knock that off.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. No, I hear you there, most definitely. There's a saying, I was trying to remember it as you were talking here on this particular point, but what I extracted from that, if we spoke to ourselves, to our best friend, the way, we speak to ourselves oftentimes, they will not put up with that. They will not be our friend. We will not have them on side. They will not have our backs. And yet, so often, we as women speak in the most awful ways, really, to ourselves, and expect success to come from that self that's spoken down to. And once we look at it in that light and start making some shifts around that, I think a lot of things, a lot of blockages can begin to loosen up if we just learn to love and respect ourselves more, on ourselves.
Yes, and it's perfectly okay to look in the mirror and say, I am fantastic. And own that, because that's what your best friend would say to you.
Absolutely.
So I say it to yourself, and when I present that to women, I say, look, you're going to write down your I am statements. And if you don't want to write them down, then do the I am alphabet. I am amazing. I am brilliant. I am beautiful. I am courageous. I am determined. I am excellent. I am fantastic. I am gorgeous. I am hot. I am, incredible. You can go through the whole alphabet, do it while you're in the shower washing your hair, and watch what happens next. You start to have that self-talk, even if you don't believe it at first. If you do it enough times, you'll start to believe it. And there's nothing wrong with thinking that you're the most wonderful person you've ever met, and not in an ego way, not in an arrogant way, just more of you are, by virtue of your very existence, a miracle.
And that's no lie. That is a fact.
That is a fact. By virtue of the fact that I had my birthday on Friday night, and one of my girlfriends said, "Congratulations on being the first sperm." You are the one that won. That's amazing. Just,
And congratulations on being
thank you very much.
Ultra selective egg, a very an egg that's set a very high standard here. Awesome. And happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I'm celebrating.
Good for you.
The whole month, I think. It's
Good
wonderful.
for you. Good for you. Lovely. So here's a question that's, kind of caused a bit of a stir here on the panel so far. And it's been a good one.
Right.
It's been a good one. It's been a fantastic, positive, but energized.
All right, let's shake it up. I'm ready.
Good, good. Do you believe that any mom can become a holistically successful mompreneur?
I do.
I
do.
Okay. Yeah. We've had some some of the mom experts say absolutely not. No.
Mm.
Some have said yes and no, but some have said yes, but. Do you have any conditions around your yes, or it's a flat out unconditional yes for you?
Well, I think it takes some strategy. I think it takes boundaries. I think it's being really clear on what does holistically mean. Can you, can you be happy and healthy and a good mom and be a successful businesswoman? Well, I'm going to sit here and say, yeah, because I would consider myself to be a balanced, happy, healthy, successful mompreneur. And did it happen overnight? No. Was it easy? No. Did I learn a lot of lessons? Did I have scrapes and bruises? Of course. I think it's deciding what are the most important things. I mean, priority, what is your priority? It's one word, but by definition, a priority is one. We, of course, as people have decided to have priorities. So you have to decide what your priorities are. And then I'm going to go back to say no. No is a complete sentence, requires no explanation.
So true.
And be willing to say no. And sometimes you can't have it all at the same time or in the same minute. I am going on a business trip in December, and I asked a friend and my editor actually to accompany me. And she said, well, my daughter has a dance recital on the Saturday. So out of the 5 days we'd be gone, there's a dance recital. And she said, how would you handle that? And I said, well, there's FaceTime on the iPad. There's asking her if it's okay. And her daughter's answer was, well, will my dad and my brother be there? She's like, yeah, I don't care as long as somebody from the family is there. And so she was thinking it would be this big, huge thing, when in fact, communication is really a good, important piece of the whole puzzle.
Yes.
And figuring out how can mom fill up her cup and do fun things. And we're just calling it running away from home or a business trip or whatever you want to call it. Right? Using your friends and your family to support you. And if you don't have a significant other, then you surround yourself with other single moms or other entrepreneurs, because people who are in the same boat tend to want to be supportive.
Absolutely.
I know I can't just travel the world right now because I have a kid in school and she goes to school every day. And so can I have that? Could I do that? Absolutely. Would I be willing to give up what I would have to give up to do that right now? The answer is no. And so I think it's asking yourself, what is it that you really want? What do you really want right now? And also too, when I turned 40, I set a goal for when I was 45. It was a 5-year goal. That's a lot of days. That's a lot of nights. It's a lot of weeks. And I just kept plugging away until I reached my goal. And I knew it was a long runway. So I could have it. I just would have to work for it and wait for it.
Great. I love that, everything you just said here. I zeroed in on the last bit, setting goals. And you've given yourself a 5-year goal.
Yep.
And
I'm past it. I'm already 46, just so you know.
That's all right. That's okay. You're so gorgeous, love.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Doesn't matter. Lovely. It's setting those goals. And as you said, plugging away. It's not going to come by sitting in a yogi position all day long and doing nothing. I personally don't believe that. I meditate religiously. I would meditate. My day starts with meditation.
Me too.
But I don't believe that if I were to sit there till noon meditating, I'm going to achieve my goals.
Probably not. But if you figure out a way to do that, you'll call me.
I will most definitely do that, but don't expect that call anytime. I'll be calling you for other things. I'm going to hang out in Austin with you sometime, but
okay. All right. Expectation. Got it.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah. But no, you talk about the work, and that's something every single mompreneur on this Telesummit series has said. It is work. It requires work. you and I are in an industry where sometimes it is peddled, this kind of get rich quick, get rich overnight, make tons of money while you sleep, which you can do, but not when you're starting out.
Not when you're starting.
So it's lovely and refreshing and welcome to hear you and the other, 21 moms on here speak so honestly, so full of integrity and authenticity. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
For sure.
Great. So, work-life balance, the blend, as it's being referred to in some circles. Which do you tend to lean more towards? Is yours more of a work-life balance aspiration, or do you tend to sort of blend your life and work? What's it for you?
I think blending is I'm going to go with blending for 200. Yeah. Well, I think that there are times when I, as you said, I'm Hal Elrod's business partner in the Miracle Morning book series. We went a little crazy and published 3 books in the same week. And then I was releasing my latest book at the same time. So putting that up for pre-order. In case anyone is wondering, 4 books in the same week is too many. Just on the off chance you were thinking, I'm going to try that, I would advise against it. I was not in balance that week. I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't making meals. That was kind of everybody fend for yourself, have a sandwich, order a pizza, kind of a time. So I was tired and cranky and working a lot, and then followed by napping and laying around and recharging and spending extra time with the family. So I don't think that I think work-life balance is kind of a wishful thing. I think sometimes we're busier than others, and sometimes something will fall by the wayside. And I think that the advice that's coming through me for my fellow moms is that don't beat yourself up when you're saying, my daughter last night, we've been partying for my birthday for days. And my daughter said, "What's for dinner?" And I was like, "I don't know. Just probably there's some cake left from Friday. I'm not really sure." And she said, "Can I make like chips and cheese, like nachos?" And I was like, "Yes, make that. That is so healthy. I can't even handle it." And it wasn't, but it was the best we were going to do in that moment. And I was okay with that. And so it's doing the best you can do and not expecting yourself to do more than the best you can do, and cutting yourself some slack when you are doing the best you can do. And also too, there's something to be said for, am I giving this my all? Am I doing the very best I can do? Yeah. And if I'm not, then let's have a conversation with ourselves and say, you know what, I think I can do better, or I'll do better next time, something like that.
Yes. Great. And the next one here, and we did touch on this a bit earlier on. We talked about your daughter. So what impact do you think being a mompreneur has had on your daughter? I mean, she's come into this world and has known you as a mompreneur or working mom all her 16 years. What would you say to that? What impact has it had?
Well, it's interesting because she looks at the world through a different lens. While as a junior in high school, it's when the conversation about what are you going to do when you grow up is very fierce and frantic. And they are testing and deciding what college they're going to go to and what they're committing the whole rest of their lives to, which I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was 16. And part of the conversation I've had with her is, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, then I'm not going to pay $200,000 a year for you to go get a liberal arts degree. So why don't you take a minute and figure it out? And you don't have any pressure. And if someone asks you, what are you going to do with the whole rest of your life? Say, I don't know. What's interesting is we've had a lot of conversations about what the different options are. Should I sell real estate, Mom? Should I become a lawyer? I really love kids, maybe because she's taking sign language for her foreign language. Maybe I really like to work with kids. Maybe I could be a nanny for deaf children and help them. And so we're having all kinds of conversations about what the possibilities are, because Mom is an entrepreneur and Mom pulled it out of nowhere. Mom makes it. If Mom could do it, I could do it. And that's, I think, the impact on her is that I believe there's always a way if you're committed. which I heard from Tony Robbins years ago. And if you want to, you can figure out a business around it. And I think that's the impact I've had on her. She can go a traditional route if she wants to and get a degree and get a job and or profession and build her way up. Mm-hmm. Or she could decide to marry some of the different things that she has an affinity for and turn those into a business. And we're not really sure yet.
Well, and she has time. And she has
plenty of time.
Most definitely has time, yes. You know, you spoke to the pressure that our young people feel very, very early age to figure out their entire
I know it.
You know, and they'll be living far longer as well. So I think that's something that I've heard consistently throughout on this Telesummit series as well. Is that kids realize, the kids of the Mumpreneurs here, realize that they have options. There's just one or two routes max open to them.
Correct.
Here you explore all the different possibilities. And there's another powerful word with your daughter. It's awesome, and I've been hearing that again and again and again. And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, wonderful. And on to our final question now, Honorée.
Sure.
What would you say is the number one habit, the number one strategy, and the number one insider secret that, you know, have altogether enabled you to achieve and sustain the success that you now enjoy?
My daily habits. And so Hal's book, The Miracle Morning, was a book that I read and thought, well, I'm already doing all this stuff. And I wish I would have written that book. So I got the next best thing. I help him write all the other books. But the daily habits, there are 6 of them. Mm-hmm. And you touched on one, which I do also, which is meditation, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and journaling. And they're called the savers. I do each of those every single day. And I think that's my secret sauce, is engaging in those activities. And a couple of weeks ago, I was having a particularly rough day and I had skipped my exercise. I hadn't done my it's called the quiet time ritual, which is a combination of affirmations and visualization. I got it from a book called The Power of Consistency by Weldon Long, which I highly recommend.
Can you say that again, please?
Yes.
Yep, The Power of Consistency.
Yep. And the author is Weldon Long.
Weldon Long. Okay.
Fantastic book about belief systems and visualization and how you can literally impact the actions that you take and make yourself take actions automatically based on how you're talking to yourself.
Fantastic.
But I was telling my girlfriend at lunch today that this day that I was having that was particularly hard, I realized a few hours into it that the wheels came off the bus at 5 a.m. There were a series of unfortunate events. And when I got up at 4:30 and by the time I turned on my computer at 5, I saw that there were all these messages and things were going wrong. There were some harsh words spoken and it really kind of just took the air out of my tires. And about 10 o'clock, one of my other girlfriends called and said, let's go to lunch. And I said, I'm afraid I'm just not very good company today. I'm just not feeling it. And she said, pull up your big girl pants, Sparky, and meet me for lunch. And I thought, well, I can't go and be all sad pants, at lunch. And so I said, all right, you go get a pedicure and I'm going to go to the gym and run into my happy pants. And I literally was like, I'm either going to be happy because of endorphins or I'm going to meet Jesus. There's one of two things is going to happen. And I'm still here. Still here. But I ran myself happy. And so I think, in addition to those habits, I think it's also recognizing when the wheels have come off the bus or you're just not feeling great, and to have that moment of awareness and say, okay, what's it going to take for me to get to where I feel myself again? What do I have to do? Do I need to read something? Do I need to call someone who's going to lift me up? For me, it was I needed to go release some endorphins and frankly, some frustration. Yes. I was pretty upset. And so I needed to go. It's better to do the mad workout than to have the mad conversation. Yes. So I wanted to go put myself in that state. So while you're in a moment of sanity, Write down a list of things that make you feel good, not destructive things like, 2 shots of bourbon, right? But what are the productive, constructive things that make you feel good or will make you feel better? And when I was going through my divorce, I wrote down, my therapist actually had me write down, okay, a hot bath, chocolate in any temperature, reading a book, watching funny shows. And so I put myself on a diet of Seinfeld and a couple of other comedy shows. And I would take a hot bath every night after my daughter went to bed. But I really kind of did it like bubbles and music and candles that smelled good. And I really just put myself in a productive place on purpose because I wasn't feeling it. And then eventually that was my regular state of being.
Yes. You do it long enough, it becomes a habit. And what we practice long enough, we reinforce. And that's the good and the bad.
Right. Amen. Yes.
So might as well be the good. Might as well be the positive.
Yes.
Fantastic. So that's your habits. What about your strategy? So we got the 6 habits here was meditation, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading. No, there was something there. Journaling. There we go. Journaling, reading, and exercise. Fantastic. And that book, I've not heard of this one before, but we'll definitely have to check it out.
It's wonderful. Yes.
I'm big on, positive content, stuff that feeds my mind, feeds my soul, and feeds my spirit. Yes. I'm going to consume that much. It might as well be good.
That's right. Yes. If you're going to watch something, it might as well make you laugh.
Absolutely. Life's too unpredictable. People say life's too short. I say unpredictable. Both, but they're unpredictable.
Yes.
Great. So we got your habits there, your strategies and insider secrets. Are they rolled into that, or are they?
They are. I mean, it's my strategy is to make sure that I have a moment of awareness when I feel uncomfortable. So uncomfortable emotions are mad, sad, frustrated, irritated. I make a notice. Oh, what is it trying to tell me? Why am I frustrated? What can I do about it? Can I change what I'm perceiving about a situation, or can I change my procedure? Meaning, what is it that I need to do up here in order to kind of shift my path, my energy, how I'm feeling, what I'm saying, what I'm doing.
Right. Any insider secrets?
I've shared a lot already. I'm not sure I'm missing. No,
I think you wrapped quite a bit in there. Yeah, you've wrapped quite a bit in there. We'll say it's all wrapped up in there.
Well, it's all wrapped up in there, everybody.
There we go. I'm happy with that. Fantastic.
Oh, yes, an insider secret. Have a coach or a mentor who is successful, not says they're successful, but who has produced the results you want to produce consistently. Don't hire someone to coach you through writing a book who's written 1 or 2 books. They don't know what they don't know. Right? Don't hire someone to teach you to run a marathon if they've run to the mailbox once.
Yes. No, that's a very powerful point you've made there. You want a coach who is where you are looking to be, where you're looking to get to, who's walked the walk, is qualified to talk the talk.
Yes, and having that person can save you. It's interesting because good coaches cost good money, and they're an investment, but they will save you thousands and make you tens of, if not hundreds or even millions, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. For sure.
And the other thing that's come through as well is that even if, getting into business as a mompreneur, it is hard work. You will fall and you'll get back up and fall again. The piece that came through about coaching is that it shortens.
It does, for sure.
Short circuits the struggle, if you will.
Well, a coach will know, and I am a coach, but I have coaches, and a coach knows where to push you. I know when to say to someone, okay, seriously, this excuse again, and I also know when to say, give yourself some grace. And a good coach is going to know, kind of like running, right? A good coach will know you've got another gear, right? Downshift into fourth gear and punch it. Or they'll say your body is tired from too much training. We're going to do something different today, or take a day off. And so a coach will compress the amount of time that it takes and make your way faster. And I think that's what's so great about having that option, and that it's available for everybody.
I love that. And so true. So very true. Thank you for sharing that. It's absolutely golden, Honorée. Great. So we've come to our last question, and this is where I hand it over to you to tell our listeners about your awesome free gift offer and where they can go to find it.
Awesome. I think you're going to tell us where they can go to find it, because I didn't ask you that. But I am giving the Successful Single Mom book. So there's a 6 books in the series. You're going to get the original book that kind of started it all. I worked with 7 single moms to validate my concept of working in 100-day periods, to create a vision, set 3 goals, and then back it up with some action steps. And so you will get your life back and your game on by reading the book. Fantastic. And you can get that for free by going to...
That's okay. I've got the link.
You've got the link.
Yes,
okay,
I've got the link. And the link is going to be there for, everyone to just jump in there and get this awesome, very generous book. Thank you so much for making that available to us for absolutely free. So this is where we say, we didn't talk about this, but delegating. I have an amazing assistant who handles everything, which is why I don't know the link off the top of my head, because she creates everything brilliantly and professionally. So that's another secret tip, is when you can delegate. Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that one as well. That's come through several times, and I'm glad you've reinforced it. And I can speak to Honorée's awesome assistant, Christina, the beautiful Christina. She's just fantastic. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our interview series. It's been just ton after ton of value, ton after ton of golden nuggets. And I thank you so much for sharing as generously as you have.
Well, thank you for having me. It's delightful to talk with you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. So that's the end of this series, of this particular interview. There are others, so do come back and join us. Thank you, Honorée. We're going to say bye for now. We'll see you again. Bye for now.